Hi everyone, welcome to Table for Two. I am the Elusive Bigfoot.
And I'm Onezie.
And today we are going over the games that begin with M. We've been doing a series where we talk about our favorite games from A to Z, and today is M. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about games that we really like or that mean something to us, aspects that really stand out. These will be base games only, no expansions. We're going to do the expansions later. And then also we're going to be grouping versions together. So like you'll find all the fluxes together or all the villainesses together, things like that. Okay, so why don't you kick us off with your M?
All right, I'm going to kick us off with M on Mr. Jack Pocket Edition.
Nice, that's a good one.
So Mr. Jack is a two-player game. You lay out some tiles that are the city streets, and basically you're searching for Mr. Jack. They don't call him Jack the Ripper, but I'm pretty sure it's based on that. It's Jack the Ripper and Sherlock that's looking for him. So one player controls Mr. Jack, and the other player controls the investigator. And
all of them,
the investigator actually has 3 tokens: a helper and a dog.
So, it's Watson, I think.
Watson, and I forget the name of the dog.
I can't remember the name of the dog. There's a dog.
Sherlock's dog. So anyway, you take your turn moving around the streets on the outside of the board, and then at the end of the turn, the investigator sort of gets to ask, "Can you see me?" You know, because the Mr. Jack character knows who the villain is and where they're hiding.
Right.
And so,
well, you want to know if you can see the villain.
So you say, "No, you can't see," or "Yes, you can see," and they kind of deduce by eliminating characters. And each round, either Mr. Jack or Sherlock can take one of the character cards and eliminate it. So either if I'm playing Mr. Jack, I'll keep the investigator from knowing it's that person, or the investigator can take that and know that it's not that person.
Right. Yeah. And so kind of speaking to what you're talking about, which is why I like this game, there's these tokens, and there's 2 sides to the token. Each side has a different action that you can take on your turn. So you kind of they say, throw it in the air, and wherever they land and however they land, that's the first side up. And so we'll alternate taking action tokens, and after that round, you flip them to the other side, and then you take the then you're drafting which actions you want to take. And so if you're able to be lucky enough to take a tile action, so you take one of the one of the suspects, then you get to take one. But it's a lot of fun trying to just manipulate, and you may figure it out in your head which is the murder, but you have to get one of your Sherlock Holmes, Watson, or the dog has to be able to see it down the street. So even changing the orientation of a tile may block the street off, so you still can't see that person.
So it's a nice light deduction crime game. It doesn't take too long to play. It's a good kind of warm-up game or casual game to play.
Yeah, and it's one of the games that we like to take with us over to the park to play, because if wind is around, it doesn't upset the game. It is a 2-player only game too, so it's great for us.
All right, what's up first up on your end list?
My first up is Marvel Champions. So this is a game where you are battling the villains of the Marvel Universe. And one thing that I like about this is you can choose to be the superhero, or you can flip it over and then you are their alter ego. So you are able, for instance, to heal as Peter Parker, or you can flip it over and then you are Spider-Man and you're attacking the villain. So as you do that, there's a lot of special cards, and it's a deck building game. You can create your own deck, or you can use the deck that they've assigned. It is really up to you how you want to build it. And there's some guidelines, of course, of what you're allowed to put into your deck. But you're battling the villains and their henchmen. You have different scenarios. You have allies that you can play with to help your attack be stronger. Such a great game.
Yeah, so one of the fun things about this game, like you mentioned, is being able to play the alter ego of the hero. In addition to letting you heal, it also affects how you can use the cards that you have.
Absolutely.
So you might get, I don't know, up to 6 cards that benefit you on your superhero side. But if you're flipped over to your
the alter ego
side, those things don't benefit you.
Yeah.
So you have to be in superhero form in order to use them.
Or you get fewer cards you're allowed to use as the alter ego, the number of cards. So you're choosing from your hand, which ones should I play this time?
Right. So like you're generally trying to defeat the villains and, I don't know, thwart their scheme somehow. That's the general terminology.
Yeah.
So you do those 2 things, and I think you go through several levels of the villain.
Yeah.
Right? So is this the game where you defeat the low level of the villain and then it
it gets more and more difficult.
Right. So if you're fighting, say, Doc Ock or something like that, first you beat the level 6 Doc Ock, and then you go up to the level 10 Doc Ock, and so on and so forth. So over a few rounds, you finally defeat Doc Ock and win the game.
Yeah, and sometimes you might even kill off your ally. I mean, sometimes when they attack you, your ally will jump in front, and so instead of you taking on any damage, they take the full thing. And so, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like it's out of the game. It's just discarded. You got to bring it back in and pay for it with whatever resources you need to pay for it and bring them out and play again.
Yeah, so Marvel
Champions.
All right, that brings me to my next one, which is Mandala Stones.
Okay.
So Mandala Stones is an abstract game played with actual stones or ceramic tiles, I guess. Plastic tiles.
I think they're plastic. I don't think they're ceramic, but they're very heavy. Yes. They got a weight to them.
So you start with tiles sort of randomly placed around the board. On your turn, you can move a marker. Depending on which marker you moved, you can pick up tiles in a certain order, and then you put them on your personal game board in a stack. And the idea is to achieve certain objectives with the patterns on top of the stones. So sometimes you say you put it in the middle of a group of 4. It's possible to pick up all 4 stones if they're showing the same icon. Or maybe you can only pick up 1. Maybe you can only pick up 2. Right? There's a little bit of competition in that. Oh, I really needed that, and you took it. So, but I needed it too. You know, that kind of thing. But I love abstract games, and this is a really good one, Mandala Stones. And you mentioned playing outdoors. This is another one that you can take to the park, and the pieces are so weighty that you don't have to worry about them blowing away in the breeze like a card game or something like that.
Yeah, this is a great game because on your personal player board you can choose to score everything, and depending on what color, let's suppose that I've got a stack of yellow, blue, purple, and this one is blue, yellow, purple, and this one is just all purple, and this one's just yellow, blue. If I call purple, I will take 1 from each stack that has the purple. If I call purple, and then depending how high up your stack is, there are certain points it will trigger. So sometimes you would think that the bigger the stack is, the more points you get, but sometimes most of the points are at the bottom. So maybe I want to make sure I have a stack that just has 1 or 2, because I only want to get those number of points, and you keep refreshing that. So there's different times it's great to score, and then you take the tiles that you pulled off for scoring, and you put them on a shared scoreboard. And so once you reach the end of that scoreboard, for the number of players you have, that'll be the end of the game is triggered. But I mean, there's certain abilities that you get to have a certain amount of points that you'll move on your personal scoreboard. So it's a lot of moving pieces. Great abstract game. It's beautiful. I'm usually not a fan of abstract, but I love this game for sure.
Mandala Stones.
All right, my next one that I want to mention is Maracaibo.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Maracaibo is your pirates out in the South Seas, and you're going around all of these islands, and you're picking up goods. So taking out the theme of the game, because some of it, I mean, it talks about certain aspects of our history, which, you know, it's, or just the human history I'm not fond of. slavery. There is just the cards, the card playing element, and picking up those resources while you travel your ship around. I really love that. Now I've heard that there is another, game that is about really focuses more on the resources. I haven't played that yet, so I have no description of that. But just the different elements in Maracaibo, let me tell you, there are a lot of little pieces. So I actually went to Etsy and I ordered like an overlay that I could put on the board. So if you bump your board without this overlay, the little round discs go everywhere. And so I ordered this particular overlay, so it kind of helps lock things down everywhere and things don't go flying. So, but I like this game.
So basically, you're sailing your ship around the Caribbean, I believe,
Yeah, I think so.
and you're discovering things and people and like exploiting the land around there,
Yeah,
making
picking up
deliveries,
sugar from here, tobacco over there, dropping it off over here.
exploring the jungle down on the bottom of
Oh
the
yeah, the
board,
jungle board.
that kind of thing. And all along the way, there are cards you flip over that kind of tell a story as you go. And so you might get a disease, you might have to deliver a cure for the disease.
And you'll get extra points if you do that.
You might have to save the governor's daughter from an ill-fated choice that she's made or something like that. I'm making that up, but there's a storyline involved.
Yeah, there's a campaign that you could choose to play for sure.
Yeah. So Maracaibo.
Maracaibo.
All right. The next one on my list is going to be dramatic pause. Motainai.
Oh, Motainai, really? Okay.
I put that on my list. I do like this game.
Okay.
Right? Even though it's kind of maddening sometimes. But it's a very tiny game. It comes in a small box. It's probably
like this.
the most game that comes in a small box. It's super a lot of game. So basically, you're playing a monastery, right? An Asian monastery, and you're creating works of art and displaying them. You're also on another side of your personal board selling them.
Selling your wares,
Yeah, you also have helpers who help you make the things. So you might have to, smith things, or you might have a water action or a paper action to make different things. And there's kind of a community pool of cards that you can draw from. And that determines the next action that everybody will have a chance to take. There's a lot of looking up how to do the rules and looking at icons on this one. But in the end, it's a very fun game, a card game. Motainai.
Motainai. Okay. So what I just heard is I will not be culling that game from our collection anytime soon.
No, we have to keep Motainai.
Okay, we will keep Motainai. All right. So I have 2 more regular games before I do my favorite, my number 1 game. What about you?
I have 3.
Okay.
So let me do one more of
3
mine.
before you do your number 1?
No, 3 total.
Okay, I have 3 total.
Okay, so you go.
Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is Mystic Vale.
Oh, that was on my list too.
Okay, so Mystic Vale is a card. What do they call it? Card.
It's unique.
It's unique, but it's called something. It's, I think, a card building.
That's what I
game.
would call it.
I think that's what they called it in the book. So what you do is you have these sleeves, and they give you the sleeves, and in the sleeve you put your card in, and there's 3 different areas that you have for actions. Okay, so if you have an action only at the top, you can draft a see-through piece and that has one of these 2 or 2 pieces and overlay it. So what you're doing, as long as you have healthy trees and you don't have too many diseased trees, you can keep going, but it is a push your luck. You can bust at any moment. You got to kind of figure out, when should I stop and use the resources of my healthy trees or whatever, my gems that I have, and buy things. So I really love this game. It's so beautiful, really easy to play once you get into the rhythm of the game. And one thing I like about it, we don't have to look too much stuff up. You can kind of figure it out from the iconography what to do.
Yeah, so it's similar to a deck builder where you add cards to your deck.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really add cards to your deck. Your deck is the same size for the whole game.
Right.
But you add powers to the cards that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so each round you get to do that. It makes you more powerful, and you can get more powers to add to the cards where they'll fit.
Yeah.
You kind of slide the cards into a sleeve and hope that they don't cover up other powers.
Right. Or you can build, you can purchase these cards that will count towards your end goal points. And so you're trying to play until you get to a certain amount of gems that have been used, and then that triggers the end of the game.
It's such a unique game. I don't think there's another game like it where you build the card,
Yeah,
where you
not
actually
yet.
change the card.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
We have a game where you change the face of the dice,
Right.
but we don't have another game where you change the cards.
That's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
I mean, outside of like legacy type of games where it permanently changes, this is not permanent. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Great game. Okay, that's Mystic Vale.
All right. So since that was on both of our lists, I want to talk about the Mint games.
Okay.
So we have a few games called Mint. They have different versions of Mint. And they come in a little tiny mint tin that looks like an Altoids mint, right? And that's part of the charm of it. And when you open it up, the pieces look like mints.
They look like Altoids, either white ones or little red ones.
Beware parents.
They're wood.
So the little white mints and little red mints you use to play the game. I think my favorite one that we have is called Mint Delivery. It's a pick-up and delivery game. You lay out 6 cards or 9 cards or something on the table, and you drive your little truck around the area, the region, and you pick up mints and drop them off according to goals you have on cards or tiles.
Yeah.
And that's Mint Delivery. There's another game, a mint game, where you try to manufacture more mints, and you gain the ability to make mints and the ability to...
Oh, Worker. Is that the Worker one? Mint Worker?
Yeah,
Mint Works?
Yeah, Mint Works. That's the one. Mint Works. Thank you. But all the Mint games seem to be very entertaining and very good. I like especially Mint Delivery.
Yeah, I like Mint Delivery the best too. Even more than Mint Works, which is a more popular one. The Mint Cooperative, I'm not as much of a fan of. So may call that one, I don't know. But I do like Mint Delivery quite a bit.
All right, so that's my penultimate game.
Okay.
So what's on your list?
All right, so the next one, I wonder if this is your number one game, because when I first saw this game and we got to play, when I first saw this on TV or on YouTube, I'm like, oh, we got to so play this game, because this reminds me so much of the onesie that you like to play, where it has multiple ways to score points. And then when we played it over at a game convention, I mean, as soon as he liked it, I ordered it immediately from Amazon. I'm like, we're so getting this, because I couldn't find it in a friendly neighborhood game store, so I had to order it online. It is Mille Fiori.
That is my number one game.
I knew it.
Yep.
So since it is your number one game, why don't you talk about it?
Oh, there's a lot to talk about on that game. So Mille Fiori is a game of glassworks, would you call it? So
yeah.
Your
stained glass.
Your player pieces are little see-through diamonds that you lay out on the game board to cover up spaces. And depending on what you cover up, you gain a benefit from the picture. Since the tile is see-through, you can see what it is you've done. You don't have to constantly be peeking under the tile to see what you've done.
Which I think is part of the charm of this.
But as you mentioned before, there are many ways to score points in this game. There's kind of a resource game. There are several resource patches on the game. And when you lay things out there, you gain those benefits or those resources, those icons.
I think you gain points based on the number of icons that you match. Yeah.
And then there's another track that's shipping. You ship your stuff out, and once you've shipped out a certain amount of stuff, you can gain even extra points. It depends on where you are vertically or horizontally on the shipping track. There's an actual ship that you move around. the river or the
Yeah.
ocean, and then there's another track around the outside of the board, which is kind of abstract.
Those are the points.
You
Yeah.
just gain points
Right.
for laying out there.
Yeah.
And if you're the first one to achieve one of these objectives around the board, you can get big points. If you're the second one, you get medium points, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So say you
Mm-hmm.
really launch into shipping and you
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of points there, well, I might be able to make points somewhere else on the rest of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can catch up with you. There are different ways to win. So you don't have to feel like you're behind the whole time.
I'm going to remind you of that the next time we play.
And the whole game is driven by cards. You draw cards each round. You start with a hand of cards and you draw cards. And so the actions that you take are determined by what cards you can play out of your hand.
Right, right. So the reason why I love this game so much, there is that score track on the outside, and like you're mentioning, there's different ways of scoring points. And the reason why I'm kidding you about, you don't have to feel like you're falling behind is because we have a running joke that unless I lap him on the board, I don't really win. And I've lapped him every single time. So I will remind you of this. But there's just so many ways of scoring points.
Oh, the shame.
There's so many ways of scoring points. You can choose to collect a set of different kinds of ornaments, or you can try to get cards in a certain number order, or you could try to get different kinds of resources that are in a pyramid shape, and the higher level that you can achieve that as you're doing this, the more points you get, but someone may sneak in there and put the final one on there and then they get the points. I mean, it's just a beautiful game. It was so well thought out. It's very tight. There's a lot of there is a card drafting element as well, where you'll play a game and you pass the rest, and that person will play something. Pick a card and we play it. So, recommend Millefiori.
Millefiori, definitely.
All right, that brings me to my last one. Is that your list is done then?
Yes.
Okay, so my last one. You're probably wondering what this game is.
What the heck?
It is Merchant's Cove.
Oh, the big game.
It is. It's a big box. It's a big game. So what you do is you are different types of merchants. There's boats that will have little maples in them. And what you're doing is, depending on when that boat is full, it docks into the harbor, and then based on how many meeples of a certain color come out is what actions are going to be taken. Each player can play a different type of merchant, and depending on the type of merchant you have is how you will be making wares. So for instance, maybe you're going to be making armor and weapons, or maybe you're going to be making potions, or maybe you're going to get different kinds of fish, or maybe you're going to be, gosh, what else is there? There's the time, it's almost like Back to the Future, where you've got a little boy and a professor, and you can move your things around your own little player board, but Marty, the little boy, first always has to be in front of the professor. They can meet up, but then you have to move Marty before you can move the professor. You can do like potion explosion and pick up marbles, and when they crash together, it makes different things happen. Just different games within this. So it depends on what you're feeling at that moment is what you'll play.
Yeah, I like the variability on this game and the characters. There's just so many different things to do. It really feels like if you change characters, you feel like you're playing a different game. So you're sort of playing a solo game, and you're sort of competing against the other person.
In that part, yeah.
But I'm playing my own game, trying to figure out my own puzzle.
Right. But it's like we both see that ship is about to dock and it will affect both of us. What are we going to do?
Absolutely.
Like, oh, these ships are all going to dock at the same time. And you can draft helpers also to help you get more points on different things. It's been a little while since we've played it. Definitely I want to bring that out, not too distant future.
All right, Merchant's
Cove. And that was my number one. All right. So, thank you for joining us. If you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe and share the videos with others, because there is that little hidden competition, like, do you have one of every letter? And maybe this will help you find something new to kind of fill in some of those gaps. All right. And so until next time, I'm the Elusive Bigfoot.
And I'm Onezie.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.